calling this one snacks, but you can earn the junk food after we've had a few fruits. Mangoes have an identity crisis from how they partly resemble multiple, much more recognized fruits. It's like, there's something slightly wrong with that apple, peach, orange, pear, lemon. But if it weren't for that, I'd have to come up with something interesting to say about these designs, of which Emojipedia does best. The avocado, like all millennials right now, is halfway gone, has terrible posture, and appears to be pregnant. Microsoft have drawn Snivy, hey Snivy, and most of these aren't quite edible yet, and most of the rest are not edible anymore because they missed that single minute of it being nearly worth the price of an avocado, which WhatsApp drew. Two peanuts now, sitting together suggestively. Aren't we meant to block peanut marketing now? That joke was relevant when I scripted this a couple of weeks ago. Go for Apple. Here's that old chestnut, the chestnut. You have to make it different enough from a Hershey Kiss, the chocolate that declares its pronouns. So we need a nutsy sheen, and yeah, it's Apple again. Here's the cornier emoji in various states of undress. All these little segments make it feel like a panopticon. I think Messenger still works best. A pretzel is not a pastry, but with a K. This is a good page to demonstrate Openmoji's incompetence. Their style of broken outlines and zero shading leads to this untangled mess. I guess you get what you pay for, it's the Openmoji of pretzels. Microsoft have gone for a far more Staffordshire setup that wouldn't hold as a pretzel. There's no point of tightness to it to mold together on itself. This pretzel is going to naturally unfold into just a line. The nicest is by Emojipedia. There's a lot of bagel variety with fillings or not fillings, or man, they've thought of everything. I like WhatsApp's, except through this hole in the top there's a portal to nowhere, leaving the best one as Samsung's. Do you like showing your internet age? I am a bit out of my depth in the food episodes because I don't really know what food looks like, but I'm reasonably convinced by Emojipedia's here. A good rhyme for waffle is falafel, but which is the best of all these pictures of falafel? This is one of those where duplicating and complicating the content lessens the recognizability, and only Facebook have starkly stuck to drawing a single falafel without the needless duplication. This is directly a falafel. I do appreciate the principle of having a kind of bite out of it so you can see the recognizable innards that distinguish it from other round brown foodstuffs, but when you do that to one in a batch of falafel, that's a bit gross. One by itself, that's fine. The hold cheesy wedge is a kind of cheese I recognize more from pop culture than real life, this iconic sector shape with the gaps forming various astonished faces. I think each of these looks like different kinds of cheese, different softnesses and textures, with WhatsApp's the strongest and Emoji's is the mildest, but Openmoji, is this meant to be the cheese or the grater? I guess they saw the emoji brief and swore that they'd never draw anything with perspective or sides to it, so all they could do was draw a yellow shape with circles on it. Maybe, via its yellowness, we can just about guess that it's meant to be a cheese, but at best it's one of those cheap packet slices that taste like their own packaging. Notice how cheese is so rare in Japanese culture that SoftBank, AU, and Docomo haven't shown up to this emoji from Emoji 1.0. Their word for cheese is chizu. That's how recent a concept it is in Japan. It probably serves more function as a thing to say when you're having your photograph taken. I really like Facebook's representation of cheese texture and depth, though they bring back a complaint from a much earlier mixed emoji episode by having a straight outer edge where it should be an arc of the circle it was cut from. But even with that flaw, it is the best one here. The fortune cookie, I am just gonna keep saying that things just look like Pac-Man if things just keep just looking just like just Pac-Man. I like how many times an emoji of a fortune cookie has passed between Western and Eastern cultures to become a thing. Look, the way the fortune tag hangs out of many of these suggests poor construction, which you could exploit and choose the most fortunate cookie, but it also solidifies the reference when this is such a niche object. WhatsApp's is best, but let's see what it says. See these ice creams. An actual ice cream van just went past as I got to this bit. The mount is realistic but anxiety-inducing. Nobody's gonna beat this apple one, and nobody does! Shaved ice is a food that puts all its effort into its visuals, like Joy Pixel's designed desserts to usurp the slogan, "Taste the Rainbow." Emoji are terrible. Shaved ice has cultural importance, such as the nations of Mali and Guinea, but it's still just ice that's been shaved. I should probably show more interest in this, as someday it will be a Pokemon. The designs represent two slightly different things, the Hawaiian one and the Japanese one, but I think the colors do help because they trick the consumer into thinking it has a taste, so it's WhatsApp. Cupcakes are all going for that more topping than cake design that makes you unsure whether it's supposed to fit vertically in a mouth or you just separate the halves. Google's hasn't even risen as far as the casing, which is at least quite realistic. A lot of them look like the casing will be annoyingly fingernaily to pick off, and then you've got even less of a cake. Facebook haven't bothered cooking the mix. I think Apple are the star caker here. Hey, how come Apple are really good at foods? Icon candy. Apples doesn't even look wrapped up. Emoji have drawn the planet from the Hitchhiker's Guide. This is one where Google's simplicity works best. I'm gonna leave those sounds in. The consensus on the lollipop is that it should be one of those oversized ones that obviously won't fit in a mouth, so do you bite these? I intend to never find out. It's thereby a bit of a mesmerizing swirl stick or a ping pong racket, and just not a good portrayal of a lollipop, to the extent that Microsoft gets it best. And if you liked this video, there can't be many more.